Drock. I'll be the Drake Graham, the most popular person on Spotify, other than his biggest rival and The Weeknd. Now, as we all know, Drake is one of the most biggest popular superstars to ever exist on the planet. But that don't mean we can talk about his fucking issues, because not every singer, pop star, celebrity is perfect. But this man, oh my god, this man exceeds with ego, exceeds with zest, exceeds in being one of the worst people to ever exist on the planet. Because this man has so much fucking shit on his plate to a point he doesn't need mates to clean it. He needs other people's careers just to talk about his fucking issues that he puts upon because of his own fucking action. Meanwhile, before we start, I'm gonna talk about a couple things about Drake while Dave gets a history lesson about how all of this shit came to happen from the rap beef between him, Kendrick, and every other motherfucker under the sun. Just for clarification, when I'm talking, I am using Sting and David is Mach. On to the history lesson.
Hello, it's your fellow historian, David Delgado. Okay, so to put this in a short timeline for y'all, let me get the board. Let me get the chalkboard. But basically, it started when there's a certain song in 2013 called "Control" by Big Sean in collaboration with Jay Electronica and Kendrick Lamar. There is a verse from Kendrick Lamar talking about he wants to start friendly competition with the rappers such as Mac Miller, obviously Big Sean, Jay Electronica, and including the main topic of this video, Drakey Poo. But basically, he proposes a friendly challenge with Drake. But what happens is, after he meets Drake in like a reward show, he's really cool with him. But then Drake goes on the interview and talks about how he thinks that the friendly competition thing was kind of fake because he didn't keep that same energy when he met with Drake again.
Feel the way about that verse. I get it. I get the moment. Like, you know, he's a good guy. And like, I know that verse had no malice behind it because I saw him 5 days later at the VMAs and it was all love. So it's like, he didn't come on there on some wild, like, yeah, I'm in New York, fuck everybody, don't look at me. Like, I'm the king. So it was one of those things. It's like, I almost wish he had come in there on that shit because I kind of lost like a little respect for the sentiment of the verse. If it's really fuck everybody, then it needs to be fuck everybody. It just can't be halfway for the sake of the people. But you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, that's just how I feel.
So he got really sensitive about it. And then talks about how he doesn't think it's fake. And there's another point where he mentions Kendrick again, but I don't remember on top of my head. After Drake's album, Nothing Was the Same, Kendrick releases a cypher with his label with TDA, where he goes on BET Awards. He basically says in the cipher, nothing was the same after I took a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Basically calling Drake a sensitive little bitch. So another couple years go by, more sneak disses, and then we get to a pinnacle, 2017, which is the year that Kendrick released his album Damn. There's a lot of lines in Damn where it's a lot of disses for Drake, Big Sean, and other rappers that he had issues with. Which the next year would also start another beef with Drake with Pusha T. Which it's the whole thing where basically Birdman had a problem with Pharrell, then Lil Wayne took on the beef with Pharrell, and then when Lil Wayne got involved, so did Pusha T get involved. But then, when Lil Wayne became older, Drake then took the mantle of basically beefing with Pharrell. So, when Drake started beefing with Pusha T, because he's associated with Pharrell. He's basically calls out something about Pusha T's fiance. So he gets really mad and calls out Drake for hiding his son. It's because mainly it's to do with the fact that he got a porn star pregnant, so he didn't want to claim it. But Pusha T gets to be the first one to talk about Drake's son. So when that gets released, there's nothing really much afterwards to talk about because that really wrapped up the beef between him, Drake, and Pusha T. But then we get to 2021, which starts the beef with lights up the beef. Not 2021. What the fuck am I talking about? 2024. It starts off with Drake and J. Cole releasing First Person Shooter, which they basically exclude Kendrick from being in the top three argument. And what happens is Future also simultaneously had a beef with Drake because certain other issues they had. And they released him, Metro, released an album called We Don't Trust You. And there's a song that has Kendrick on it. And he releases the legendary line to this day, "It's no big three, it's big me," which starts a whole feud between him and Drake, which it basically goes to a back and forth, but I can talk about that in a different segment.
Thank you, David, for that history lesson. Not only does Drake just poses himself as this tough guy from Toronto, he also poses most of his crew as these guys who just run Toronto with fucking hood ties and all this shit, when most of that shit is not even true. Most of his fucking goods get fucking thrown out of fucking hotels like they're nothing. People like Chubbs, Baka Not Nice, those weirdos. Don't even get me started on DJ Akadidi. We'll get into that in a bit. But Drake just needs to control his fucking militia because they do not run Toronto. They do not even run the smallest fucking alley in that huge ass city of Snow. Like, come on, be fucking real, Aubrey. Speaking of Aubrey, it's something from his past that he tends not to talk about as much as he loves to talk about good old K-Dot. Well, let me pop this up with my magical editor powers, cause like, what the fuck are we doing, Aubrey? This picture was used back in the day when Aubrey was when he was an actor before he turned into this big tough rapper who runs Toronto. No, but seriously, this picture was leaked by Pusha T during their beat back in 2018 when he mentioned the whole fiancé shit, which honestly, you should have not done that in the first place, Aubrey. They will get into that in a bit. But honestly, you could either read it or I could just summarize it for you, whatever you want to do. You could pause the video if you just want to read it real quick. It's understandable that back in the day, black actors were typecasted or stereotypical to be portrayed in those type of shows or just in general. But this was just not needed because this will later come back to bite you in the ass, even though if this was just, to raise awareness of how actors were treated back then. You could have done a lot better. Time to talk about his goons again. Oh boy, bring the popcorn, which I'm pretty sure we have, or bring some chips, some wings, some pizza, whatever the hell you're eating. Eat a fucking vegan burger, whatever. Now, the first person I'm going to talk about is Baka Not Nice. Which, who you don't know, he is one of Drake's enforcers or security guards or one of his glazers, his Drizzy Draclers. Now, the reason why I'm talking about him right now is due to the fact that when Kendrick dropped Not Like Us 2 years ago, which is the recording of this 2026, he mentioned Baka, he got a case. Why is he around? Certified Little Boy, you know, that lyric that everyone knows for. When Kendrick was mentioning this, why Baka is around, the reason why he mentioned that is back in 2014, 10 years before that whole shit blew up, Baka was charged with alleged human trafficking / prostitution of a 22-year-old and basically forced her to being a prostitute. Now, keep in mind, he actually said, I'm guilty of this. He admitted to in court of doing this shit. For someone like Drake to say like, oh yeah, no, I'm not a pedophile, Kendrick is lying, he sure loves to have you know, the PDFs around his entire goon stream. You know what I'm talking about. Next person on the list, top 5. Yep, we're gonna talk about this motherfucker, cause holy mother of Christ, this man has not been good to mankind whatsoever. Jesus. Back in 2025, when he was hanging out with Drake, this man really thought it was a good idea to go to where Kendrick was staying while he was doing Toronto shows. This man really thought he could, you know, show up to his penthouse or to where he's staying at to, you know, say, yo, I'm gonna cancel every Kendrick show. When this man, even though he has a lot of crimes under his belt, he cannot run Toronto. He does not run fucking Toronto. This is where we got the infamous clip of him being punked out. Punked out.
What the fuck you somewhere, dog? Stay outside, my nigga. Stay outside right now, nigga. Get the fuck outside, nigga. Get your ass booming on, nigga. Get the fuck out, boy. Who's you fucking pointing at, nigga? I'll boom on you right now, nigga.
Sorry, that's top 5. Do you
I
know
ain't
what
gonna fucking fuck you talking to. You think acting like you Drake ass? Get the fuck off the street, you bum ass nigga. Wear flip flops, looking motherfucker. Stuff you right now, nigga.
How does top 5 fit into this? Well, not only the fact that Drake paid for his legal fees when he was, you know, sent to court for, you know, self-snitching and also murdering a man. Rest in peace and my condolences to the people who are affected by this man just because he felt like doing this horrendous thing to do. This man literally supported a literal murderer while he was on his beef with Kendrick. And in 2024 he got released from, you know, from being arrested. Post Kendrick feud, him and Drake just continued to, you know, just like chill around, be friends and all that. Even pulling out to a Toronto Raptors game, which you know, it's time to, you know, chill around, be with your friend, you know, watch a little bit of shooting some hoops, you know. Then after he got stabbed in the neck, which obviously, what the fuck, how did that even happen? There's a whole case about it. You can go read it online. We're not gonna talk about that here. Post the whole incident. Turns out that Drake was supporting a rival rapper or a former friend of top 5, also known as Pressa. What does this say about Drake's behavior? Not only the fact that he backstabs his friends, he starts fucking beefs because he feels like it, or the fact that he's just not self-conscious to the point where most of the people he collaborates with or he's associating himself always turns out to stab him in the back because of his own bullshit. What does it say for Drake? He's a bitch. Next person on the list I'm gonna talk about. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure everybody knows him for being the OVO Glazer and OVO himself. The man who can't stop sucking on that Drake Diddy. DJ Akadiddy. Highly recommend watching Screwface's diss track on that DJ Akadiddy because holy man, this man cannot stop talking on the fucking internet. Not only the fact that he started and he kept talking about the Chirac war that involved multiple kids passing away from this violence. He also, while he was in Miami, he started being a girl that he was with and shouting on her that I'm the prize, I'm the prize. The predatory behavior that he does to girls who are underage or about to turn into consenting age, the 15-year-old grooming allegations, the lack of respect to women, cause what the fuck? And don't even get me started on that Saucy Santana shit. That shit was hilarious. This man literally went to stream and cried about how like I don't want to get my cheeks taken, man. You can all go to Luis's channel and go watch over there. Recommend the homie's channel because holy bro, it's a whole case of this man just not doing shit right. Just go watch Luis's video. It'll explain everything because this video is already getting too long for a lot of this shit. We're going back to talking about Drake. Oh yeah, let's not forget, during the whole beef with Kendrick, this man was just glazing. And I mean, Krispy Kreme glazed donuts levels of glazing towards Drake about how Drake was about to finish this man Kendrick. Pause though, so y'all don't get the wrong idea. This man should honestly this man should just be deplatformed at this point because this isn't even reporting or news reporting at this point. This is just glazing at this point, man. At this point, you'll probably drop on your knees and pray to Drake like he's your god. What the fuck, man?
Man, what the fuck is going on right now, bro? What is the fuck is going on? Drake just dropped on YouTube and he dropped a little preview snippet on Instagram. And you're telling me that Kendrick dropped again? The fuck are you telling me?